All right, if you've ever owned a car, you know this feeling. That little check engine light pops on, and your heart just sinks, right? Your mind starts racing. Well, one of the most common reasons for that light is a code called P0301, and today we're going to decode it. By the time we're done, you'll know exactly what your car is trying to tell you, and more importantly, how you might be able to fix it yourself.
Yep, there it is. You're just driving along, minding your own business, and boom, that little orange engine icon lights up your dashboard, and you get that instant knot in your stomach. Is this a $5 fix, or is this going to cost me a fortune? Is my car about to die? Well, let's take all the mystery out of it, starting with what that light is really trying to say.
You see, that light isn't just there to annoy you. It's actually the beginning of a conversation. Your car's computer uses a special language, these codes, to tell you exactly what's up. And our job right now is to translate one of its most common messages, the P0301 code.
And there you have it. It's actually pretty straightforward. P0301 means your car's brain has noticed a misfire happening in cylinder number 1. And the real key here, the super important clue, is that 01 at the end. That tells us the problem is specifically in cylinder 1. If it were P0302, we'd be looking at cylinder 2. You get the idea. But that just leads to the next question, doesn't it? So what exactly is a misfire? Well, think of it like your engine stumbling. Inside each cylinder, there's supposed to be this perfectly timed, tiny explosion happening over and over, thousands of times a minute. A misfire just means that for cylinder 1, that little explosion, it just didn't happen right. Maybe it didn't happen at all, or it was way off beat. The engine's perfect rhythm got interrupted.
Okay, so to figure out why it stumbled, we first got to understand how the dance is supposed to go when everything's working perfectly. It's really all about the super simple science of combustion. It's this really simple three-step rhythm. First, you get the perfect mix of air and fuel sucked into the cylinder. Second, a spark plug shoots a spark at the perfect moment to light it all up. And third, that ignition creates a powerful bang that shoves the piston down, creating power. A misfire just means one of those three steps went wrong.
And this is why that little code is so helpful. A P0301 code is incredibly specific. See, if your car had a bigger, more general problem, like a failing fuel pump that's starving the whole engine, you'd probably get a P0300 code, which means multiple cylinders are misfiring. But P0301, that's like a laser beam. It tells us, hey, the problem is right here, with the parts that only affect cylinder 1. That saves us a ton of guesswork.
Okay, detective, we know where the crime happened, cylinder 1. Now we need to figure out who did it. And when it comes to a misfire, there are really only 3 main suspects we need to investigate.
So our investigation is going to focus on 3 things. Did we have a problem with the spark? Was it an issue with the fuel mixture? Or, and this is the less likely one, is something actually broken inside the engine? Let's start with our number 1 suspect.
If this were one of those detective shows, the ignition system would be the character you see in every scene. Why? Because it's almost always involved. Honestly, in the huge majority of these P0301 cases, the problem is going to be with the spark. So what are we looking for? Well, it could be a few things. We got to check the spark plug itself. Is it old? Is it dirty? Is it cracked? Then we look at the ignition coil. That's the part that actually creates the high voltage zap. And finally, we check the wire or boot that connects them. More often than not, one of these 3 is our guy.
All right, but what if the spark plug looks fine? The coil is good, the whole ignition system checks out. Well, then we move on to suspect number 2, the fuel system. Remember that 3-step dance? Even with a perfect spark, you can't have a bang if you don't have the right fuel mixture.
Since the problem is only in cylinder 1, our main person of interest here is the fuel injector for that cylinder. Its job is to spray the superfine, perfect mist of gasoline. But if that injector gets clogged up, it might just kind of dribble fuel in there, or not spray enough. Either way, no proper bang. And that brings us to our final suspect. Now this is the one we're all hoping it's not, because it's usually the most serious and the most expensive. We're talking about an actual mechanical problem deep inside the engine. Basically, this means the cylinder itself can't hold pressure. You know, it can't get that good squeeze it needs right before the bang. This could be from something like a valve that isn't sealing shut all the way, or maybe worn out piston rings. It's definitely the least common cause, but it's the last stop on our investigation. So, we've got our lineup of suspects. How do we figure out which one is the actual culprit? Well, lucky for us, there's a brilliantly simple trick that you can do right in your driveway. and it is the best way to crack this case.
It's called the swap test, and it is your single best friend for diagnosing this problem. Here's how it works. Since the ignition system is suspect number 1, we start there. You find cylinder 1 and another cylinder that's easy to get to, let's say cylinder 2, you simply unscrew the ignition coil from each one and swap them. Put the coil from 1 onto 2 and the coil from 2 onto 1. Then you clear the code and just go for a drive.
And here's the aha moment. You check the code again. If that check engine light comes back on, but this time the code reads P0302, you've got him. The problem moved with the part you swapped. That tells you with 100% certainty that the ignition coil you moved from cylinder 1 is bad. Case closed. Okay, so once you've done the swap test and you've found the bad part, guess what? The hard part is over. Seriously, the diagnosis is done, now it's just a matter of actually fixing it.
And you want to know the best part? Like 9 times out of 10, the fix for this is super simple and super cheap. We're talking about a new spark plug or a new ignition coil. For most cars, this is a job that you can absolutely do yourself in the driveway with just a couple of basic tools. It's that easy. So, the next time that little orange light pops up on your dash and you get that P0301 code, don't panic. Just take a breath. Remember our 3 suspects: spark, fuel, and mechanical. And definitely remember the swap test. By understanding what your car is saying, you empower yourself to solve the mystery. And who knows, you might just discover that a simple 10-minute fix is all it takes to turn that light off and save yourself a trip to the shop.